Today we're working with our friends at Miller Marine in St. Cloud, Minnesota.
Hi folks, I'm Nathan with Two Guys and Ryan. Today Rob and I are out here in beautiful St. Cloud, Minnesota. We are at Miller Marine and we are with TJ.
Yep.
And we're taking a look at a couple of boats. So this is the second of the boats that we're looking at. So TJ, what do we have right here?
Right here we have a 2022 Smokercraft 172 Ultima. So it's our combination kind of family ski fish aluminum boat.
Okay, and you're going to see all of that as we go through the details. So let's start up front. First thing I noticed, does this come with a trailer?
This particular one comes with a Trailmaster trailer, yep.
Okay, I love the breakaway tongue, by the way.
Yep, saves those shins in the garage and also obviously space. You know,
oh,
space.
Yeah, space is more what I'm thinking of. Now, it does not have a spare tire on it, but it would.
Yeah, we have various spare tire options depending on whether customers want, a generic one or a matching one, and so
right.
we'll kind of accommodate based on what the customer wants.
Okay. Now, it comes, the boat that we're going to look at today, the price that you say, it includes everything that's on this boat.
Correct. This boat is rigged with electronics package from the factory.
Okay.
Also a family ski fish package, which we'll touch base on as we go through the boat. Yeah.
Okay. So coming down along here now, this is aluminum, right?
Correct. Yep.
Not fiberglass.
Yep. Riveted aluminum hull. Yep.
And it's got lots and lots of storage, and we'll get up to that. But in the back right here, talk to us just a little bit about what is this?
Yeah, so this actually is a boarding requirement now. You've seen it on certain boats that don't come with swim platform ladders on the back end. So legally, Coast Guard regulation stuff now requires that, if you're fishing alone and you fall out of your boat, for example, you need a way to be able to get back up in the boat. And if you don't have a boarding ladder, traditionally, this is kind of what the manufacturers use to kind of, allow you to, to grab the motor, grab the gunnel, and have a step to get back up in the boat. On this particular boat, we bring them all in with a multi-step boarding ladder with a platform built into the top of it. So kind of a non-issue. They all come standard on the port side of the stern of the boat, but this one has a nice full ladder with platform, so you'd be able to get back up that way.
Let's talk about the engine options that you would have on this boat. Now, obviously, as priced, it's a 115 Yamaha.
Yeah, we put 115 Yamaha 4-strokes and 115 Yamaha Show or VF 4-stroke engines on the back of most of them. The boat will hold a 150. When we step up to 150, we go to hydraulic steering, so a little bit different setup.
Okay, so a little bit more expense there because you're not only paying for the motor, but you're also you have to the hydraulics. Okay,
yeah.
All right. But in this case, the 115 Yamaha is included.
Correct.
Okay, so bunkers.
Yep.
Well, I don't know if you call these bunkers on the side or if you call...
So we kind of guidons, so if you're coming in on a windier day or if you got, a boat that comes by the landing, the waves are rolling in, they're pushing you one side while you're trying to load, that'll just kind of keep you at least within the, the parameters of being over the top of the trailer.
Okay. Yeah. Now you got tie-down cleats?
Yep, cleats on the back, cleats midsection, about 2/3 up on the front.
Okay.
Yep.
And then you got a bimini top?
Yeah, this one has what they call a fisherman's top, bimini top, same, sun top, all the same thing. This particular one will fold out, come forward, and then snap onto the top of the windshield, so it is tall enough for most people to stand up underneath it.
Is that why it's the fisherman one?
I think that's their nomenclature, to be honest with you. Yeah,
okay. Yeah. All right. Well, let's step in because we're going to start at the back of the boat.
Yep.
And then we'll work our way to the front. So inside here, tell us what's included in the family ski package here.
Yeah, so one of the most unique things about this particular boat in terms of a 17-foot aluminum boat is the space it allows you to accommodate people behind the windshield, right?
Yeah.
Most boats, by the time you get to a third row of seats, you're basically all but tucking your knees in the back of the person in front of you, basically. So here you've got your driver's chair, passenger's chair, you've got the option of a second row of seats, and then you have these jump seats that act as convertible jump seats in the back of the boat. So when you want to be doing the skiing or the water sports or just cruising around, checking out the cabins on the lake or whatever you're doing, you can have these seats up. But then when you do want to fish out of the boat, both of these seats flip down and fold forward to allow for a bigger casting platform off of the back end. This ski tow bar pops out of the back deck of the boat to allow you, free-form casting ability back here on the back end. Of course, the jump seat on the other side folds down.
That does the same way.
We have a raised pedestal helm, so you can put one of the fishing chairs up here in there with the pedestal and be sitting up here casting from the deck up top. The family ski fish package actually is the ski tow bar, the 3-step boarding ladder, and then the cushion package that we'll get to in the bow that kind of wraps around for sitting in the bow when you're not doing the fishing.
Okay, but otherwise the seats are even the back seats are standard.
Yes, correct. Yep. In the Ultima, this
In the
particular
Ultima.
model, that's
You know what
standard.
impresses me is two things. One is that when it folds down, it extends all the way.
Yep.
Two, you can remove those snaps on this white piece and take the whole thing right out.
Exactly. Yep. Yep.
I mean, that's pretty neat. Okay, the ski bar is removable if you want. If you're just gonna be out fishing for the day or whatever, don't want that.
Correct.
Okay, gas tank right there.
Yep. Fill.
Okay, let's talk about storage right here.
Large live well in the back.
Oh
end of the
yeah.
boat. Yep. So you got
Nice
full live well
stainless
runs
steel.
the length of that all the way through. One of the unique features and one of the reasons why we like the legacy model in this particular boat is the gunnel rod locker storage. So on this side you have rods in storage for four
for the
rods
tubes?
with tubes that run up in the gunnel.
Okay.
On that side you won't have the tubed, but it's still storage on that side with the control box and everything that runs up on the front. We don't
Okay,
run
so it's
rods
the
up
same
into
size
it.
as this one, just
Correct.
no tubes.
Yep.
Okay, and then. All right, let's talk about the seats. What kind of material are these?
It's all vinyl. So the
Is it a Simtex vinyl?
No. This one. Well, it has that a little bit of a fabric.
It does
feel.
have
They
a
don't
fabric
that
feel to
Simtex
it. That's what I was
brand to it.
wondering.
Yeah, multi-density foam, just like you get in a lot of the fishing chairs nowadays. So,
Okay.
they're made to feel a little bit stiffer off of the bat, but that way, as you get a year or two into them, they're not, you're not bottom out when you sit in this chair. You still have the sturdiness to it.
Now, do they fold forward?
Yep, they've kind of got a little flex pattern, so everybody thinks there's a little lock to them, but really it's just kind of a.
You just gotta be firm with them, okay?
Yep,
And then, of course, they swivel.
It allows a little bit of resistance so that when you are trailering it, it doesn't pop right back up, and we don't have to deal with that old snap style, that are always broken off by the time we take them back in.
Yeah. So do they swivel as well?
They swivel, they'll come out. The driver's seat is on a spider, so that will go forward and backward as well.
Okay.
So the driver's seat is backed up a little bit right now, kind of closer to this seat, whereas normally it would be sitting a little bit more forward on the pedestal when it was centered.
You have a little more storage right underneath this compartment. You can see it over here on this side.
Yep, open gunnel storage.
And that's always nice for the big things like the ski pole and
Correct.
whatever else you have.
Yep.
Okay. Now, underneath me, where I'm standing, we must have some more storage.
Yeah, so there's an additional locker down in the bottom. So this particular one, right now it's set up where the center divider on it is not in there. There's a center divider that you can swing in the front of that compartment. It's sitting over on the right-hand side.
Okay.
You swing that open and it basically brings resting points for rods. So this is really
another rod storage.
locker.
And you can see the resting platform right there.
But you can also use it, of course, for storing whatever else if you don't want to have the rod tubes pulled out.
So you can have like 10 rods stored between the two storage. I mean,
wow.
Easily. Okay, that's fantastic.
If you sleeve your rods, you can fit kind of as many of them as you want down here.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, now you got cup holders. You got one up here by the driver and passenger.
Yep.
You have one each by the back jump seats back here.
Yep.
So let's talk about right up here. What do we have up here?
Yeah, so they integrate a storage box for a traditional Plano style tackle box in here.
Yep.
I've seen customers use it for a little bit of everything, but it does fit, one of those compartmentalized.
Cigar humidor?
Yeah, perfect, exactly, right? You do have a big glove box here that runs all the way in, so it's quite a deep glove box.
Ooh,
it gives you a bunch of space in there, all lockable. One thing they do is they run the trolling motor batteries back and then allow mounting space for one on each side underneath the console to kind of balance the weight out of the extra batteries from your trolling motor system.
Under here.
Yep, so right underneath
Here
this
and
part
here.
right here, you have trolling motor battery. This particular boat has an onboard charger on it, so underneath that front seat, there's an onboard charger, so you can just
plug it right in.
Charge the trolling motor
that's
batteries
nice.
and come back.
Oh, okay. Now, let's come back to the dashboard.
Yep.
And let's move up to the front here.
So right now, the bow of this boat is kind of set up as you would if you were going to use it for recreation, right, or for the ski side or whatever.
Yep.
So you've got a walk-in bow, you've got cushions on each side, you've got wraparound cushions in the corner that'll allow you to to lounge out on the front and people to sit up there and use that space as recreational space. The trolling motor is on a quick release plate, so if you knew you were going to go out for the afternoon and use that space up in the front strictly for riding, you can slide that trolling motor right off the bow and just leave it back at the dock or in the truck or whatever you're doing, just like you can most of them. And then the bow does a transition where it switches into basically a fishing platform.
Okay.
So the boat comes with a taller pedestal already.
Okay.
So you step up into the bow of the boat, you'll take both cushions out, left side, right side, or port and starboard cushions will come out. They are affixed with snaps to the floor, so you just pop them right off
Right, that's typical.
and store them.
Yep.
And then that front compartment, that you can see the hinge from where we are right now, that front compartment lifts up and then extends out and drops back down, and that's where this pedestal goes through and allows you to create a full fishing platform on the front end and to put a fishing seat up on the bow while still having this, this open bow effect.
Oh, that's really
to it.
neat.
Yeah, so now with that closed, that taller pedestal running up through the bottom of that middle, you can stick one of these fishing seats from the the main.
Right, that's what I was just going to say. It's going to be for a seat.
Yep. So now you do that with the front, you do that with the back, and you've got two separated full casting platforms for fishing.
Oh, that's just awesome.
You end up with storage in one compartment up in the bow, and then of course you have storage underneath that compartment where you saw that it folded out. Storage, and then on this side up here you end up with a bow live well. Okay. A lot of people use it as a bait well.
Okay, so to control your trolling motor.
Yep.
Okay, do you have to go up there and crank and move some levers to go down?
So this one this is a Minn Kota Tarova 80-pound iPilot trolling motor. So you'll just push this button right here to deploy the trolling motor down in the water. And then from there, really most everybody is running everything off of just your iPilot remote control now these days. So you can obviously you can turn the trolling motor, you can increase the speed, decrease the speed, you can set it to run constantly, you can set it to run only when you tell it to. Then the big thing that I most like about this is the anchor lock.
Okay.
So you don't see guys carrying or mounting electric anchors on the front of their boats anymore, or carrying anchor and open the boat. So they'll get out, they'll be working with their trolling motor, working with their main motor over structure on the lake, right, based on their graph. And then when they find that spot that they really like, if they hit this anchor button, the trolling motor along with the puck that's installed for it will take GPS readings and constantly work to keep the boat on top of that spot, right? So if the wind is blowing you one direction, or if another boat comes by and the wave action is trying to push you off of that spot, rather than continuously have to steer or throw an anchor down and and hope you're kind of not spinning around that spot, this trolling motor will consistently turn, throttle up, throttle down, all on its own in order to keep you in that spot. Keep it there,
like an iPilot. That's exactly. Like an auto thing. Wow, yeah, that is crazy.
It is. It really is crazy.
That's just nuts. Now, what is the plug-in right down below to your left?
So that's the power. That's the power for the trolling motor.
Okay.
So that's where you plug in the power, and then we have a tilt and trim feature for the main motor in the bow. So if you were by yourself and you were fishing up here, let's say you're using the trolling motor, you're coming into shallower water, you can trim that that main motor in the back of the boat up without having to run back to the console. Wow,
I'll tell you what, trolling motors have come a million miles.
Yes, they have.
Since I bought mine. Now, this is a closable windshield.
Yep.
Okay.
Full walk-through windshield.
All right. Let's come back, if we can finish up by talking about the driver's console.
Yep. So on this particular boat, we have a color GPS Lowrance Hook 7 graph. So a chip-capable graph, also has pre-built-in maps. That particular unit came factory installed on here. We'll offer a Hook 7 or a Lowrance Helix 7, or excuse me, a Humminbird Helix 7. Both color GPS graphs. Okay. We have a master power switch on this boat, horn. We've got nav and
so is that master power? That kills everything.
It does. It overrides everything on the boat. Yep. So at the end of the day, and the one feature that I'm not seeing on this particular one, because we don't have batteries in it yet, there's little LED lights that are lit up on the end of the switches on this particular boat.
Yep, on those
so when you
switches.
Have a switch on, it's very blatant that you've left it on.
Okay.
To know to turn it off, but you do have the master power fallback at the end of the day. You've got nav and anchor light switches, build stuff. You can run the two live wells independently on switches. And then there's a really cool storage light component to this boat where all these access compartments and stuff down here in the gunnels have like blue ice LED storage lights that light up inside of them.
Makes it very nice in the evenings and night to find things.
Yep, exactly.
All right, so talk us through the gauges that are up in the pod here.
You have your traditional, so you've got RPM gauge for the motor, you've got miles per hour, you've got battery voltage, and then you have a fuel gauge. There is a built-in compass heading there.
And then the dummy pod holes there. Are there extra gauges that you could?
Yeah, you could. There's Yamaha has a troll control gauge that we'll put in boats that some guys who are
Tilt-and-trim,
trolling with main motor, they can digitally dial down the RPMs. Once you get as far back as you possibly can control with the control box, you can actually digitally dial those RPMs down to bring that motor down to, down below 1,000 RPMs, so to trying to hit a specific speed for trolling.
So on the Lawrence there, does that tie? I mean, is that strictly sort of a fish finder navigation, or can it be hooked into the engine too and give you read-offs?
That one won't do it in the particular setup that we have right now. It's also not a linked trolling motor, so we didn't put a linked package on this boat where the trolling motor is linked to the graph itself.
But a customer could have you do that.
Correct,
you certainly have all the stuff here in the house to do all that.
Correct. Yep.
Man. Steering wheel, I think he already said tilt trim on it. I can't remember.
Yep, tilt wheel on this one. So similar button on the bottom of the wheel.
Okay.
There is a 12-volt accessory adapter over here. There's still your traditional auxiliary plug. So if somebody doesn't have a wireless Bluetooth device to run the stereo with, you can still plug in. If you had a
3.5.
iPods are still a thing.
Yeah, you're still using a Walkman.
Yeah,
how about that? Okay, or a record player maybe. Now. Your sound system is located on the left side here as you go through the passageway.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, just a wireless Bluetooth stereo.
Okay.
Wireless Bluetooth stereo. Most of the functions everybody's running from their phones nowadays, as far as picking the music, changing the volume up or down. It still does have traditional AM and FM stereo functions in it.
Okay.
And an auxiliary plug function like we talked about. So, multi-purpose. But
can you add Sirius XM if you wanted?
You could put a puck on this particular.
Which I don't know why you would do if you have Sirius XM app on your phone. Wouldn't you just run that from? But anyways, I
guess it depends.
People
if you're doing a lot of remote stuff where you don't have a lot of good phone signal stuff, or if you're on big water where you might not have good phone signal stuff, then maybe. Then it might be necessary. But for most people, it's not.
All right. Typical throttle setup.
Yep.
And typical tilt and trim. Okay, one thing that I know is the trailer button. Some boats have a up and down trim, but trim only goes so far. Then you have to hit a trailer button to get the motor all the way up. Yeah. Do these just go all the way up for trim?
Yeah. So you use the up and down function, but the motor itself will actually switch designations once it hits a certain point.
Yeah.
So you'll get a very fine detail, lower unit up and down. But then when you get further up in the spectrum, it'll actually come up quite quicker when in the trailer position.
Okay. And I know we don't see this on here, but this has the lanyard connection.
Correct.
So that if you fall out of the boat and it's attached to you and you pull it out, the boat's going to stop.
If you have kids, it's also the biggest culprit for the boat never starting because they're always playing with that cord.
Yeah. It won't start. I wonder why. Okay. So, TJ, this is a nice combination boat. I mean, with how you can modify the back and the front to be family friendly, or we're going out to fish. It can be a serious boat for both. That's a nice sweet spot for a boat to be in. What's the price of this one as it is equipped?
This particular one that we're sitting in right now is at $39,990.
Okay.
$38,990 with no cover, $39,990 with cover. So they kind of float right around that range.
All right. And that includes the 115 Yamaha.
Yep, everything we
and the trailer.
Yep, Tarova 80-pound iPilot trolling motor, the GPS graph, the trailer, the boat, the motor. Yep, all water ready, rigged up, tested, ready to go.
Wow. Now, if I want to buy one, I'm a little concerned about warranty. What's the warranty does Smokercraft offer?
Yeah, so Smokercraft offers what they call a lifetime plus 6. So lifetime on all the structural components of the boat, double riveted seams on the hull and everything, and then the plus 6. So anything factory installed on the inside of the boat would carry a 6-year 100% parts and everything.
All right. And if I want to order one from Miller Marine up here in St. Cloud, how long do I have to wait?
With the popularity of this boat for us, we actually, out of the couple hundred fishing boats we'll carry every year, this is going to be 50 to 75 of those fishing boats out of all the models they make. So really, for the most time, we carry this one in stock at any point in the year. Last year there was a very short window. During the summer where production was a little bit slower, and we ran out of this particular model. But for the most part, we have it here. They're building boats for us, 52 weeks out of the year, spaced out over the course of a build log. So we kind of insert this boat boat in there pretty frequently just so that we constantly have it in stock.
Okay. Now, as a customer, if I came and I said, well, I really like this boat. I want everything you have on it, except for I want a different screen. I want the integrated trolling motor. You, again, sell all those features and we'll do the install.
Yep, for sure. Yep, we have a full service department and parts department over at the shop, and so you know, we could take this graph and put the 7 on the bow, and then put a 9-inch graph on the console. You know, link it up to the trolling motor. Yeah, we have
all that capability.
Yep.
And if you haven't been out to Miller Marine, you stop out. It's amazing. I believe it's an old Walmart store.
Yeah.
That'll
so
give you the idea of the size of it. It's an indoor.
Yeah, our showroom, along with the other half, is 120,000 square feet. So we've got a lot of space.
It's just a lot of space, and this is only part of the building here.
Correct.
You've got the whole service bay area. 21 bays, I think you have for servicing.
Over at the shop.
Wow. Well, you know, TJ, thank you again for spending your time today, taking us through this beautiful smoker craft boat. What an amazing combination. And thanks for sharing your knowledge.
You bet. Thank you, guys. You're welcome up at Miller Marine anytime. We'd love to have you up here.
All right. Thank you. And thanks for watching.